Hello, all you Mirror Universe captains out there, and welcome to Undeclared Bajor. My name is Fletcher, about to say hello is Data.
Ole. That's my Mirror Universe hello. It's backwards.
It's like a mirror.
Yeah.
It's like Yvonne Niage.
Exactly.
Today we're going to discuss and review Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 4, Episode 20, Shattered Mirror. Alternate title, Wasted Budget.
No. What?
I don't know.
Why was the budget wasted? I don't understand.
It just looked really expensive.
Oh, okay.
As always, you can expect full spoilers up through the episode being discussed, and a possible small number of spoilers for later in the series, kept to an appropriate minimum. But we will spoil the whatever movie you haven't seen yet.
All of them. Every movie that you haven't seen.
Right. We got our list right here. We'll just spoil them all.
He was dead all the time.
Yep. Shattered Mirror originally aired April 22nd, 1996. It was written by ISB and HB, Ira Steven Behr and Hans Beimler. What? A rare team-up combo. And directed by James L. Conway. So I guess, we're like, well, who needs Robert Hewitt Wolf? We'll write our own episode.
Yeah, he wrote his own episode not long ago, so you gotta mix it. You gotta mix it up a little bit.
Yep.
And we saw James L. Conway not that long ago. He did Little Green Men.
Huh.
But this is not the only Mirror Universe episode of Star Trek that he will do, because he will come back to do a Mirror Universe episode of Enterprise.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
He's good at the Mirror Universe. Weren't the first two Mirror Universe episodes directed by the same person? Wasn't it Vinrich Kolbe or something like that?
It might have been. And now we have to hold on.
Insert
what was the first one
here.
called?
First one was Crossover.
Okay, let's find out. Crossfire.
No.
Oh, that was a different episode. Crossover was directed by David Livingston.
Okay.
And the next in the Mirror Universe arc, that's episode 9 of 13 in the Star Trek Mirror Universe arc, by the way. Through the Looking Glass was directed by Vinrich Kolbe.
Oh, okay. I thought they were directed by the same guy. I guess I was wrong. Alright, anyway. So Jake Sisko stands on the walkway overlooking the promenade, thinking. Odo comes along and says hi, and Jake immediately starts explaining that he's thinking about a new story idea. But Odo doesn't care. He's not here to chase him off like in the old days. That was all Nog. Which, bullshit. I remember Jake participating in plenty of those pranks, so...
Yeah, it's... Now that Nog's gone, Odo can be magnanimous.
Sure. He's like, as long as Jake doesn't throw any sand peas, he's good. I don't have any sand peas, says Jake wistfully. Then Quark comes along and starts harassing Jake anyway, and he leaves. Then Odo and Quark have a brief conversation about the uselessness of friends.
Yep. Those stupid friends. Can't have them.
Yep, they suck.
Pointless.
Jake heads home, where he finds his dad sitting and talking with his mom?
Say what?
No, it's Mirror Jennifer, they explain. Jake is hyped. He's always wanted to meet Mirror Jennifer. And he knows all about the Mirror Universe. He's the Mirror Universe's biggest fan, apparently. And Jennifer brings good news that the Terrans have seized control of Terok Nor.
Yay? I don't know. The thing is, yes, these are the humans, and yes, the Empire are jerks,
Right.
or the Alliance are jerks. These guys don't seem all that nice either. Like, yeah. I don't know that I have all that much of a preference, honestly.
And I think that that Sisko has kind of the same attitude, where he's just like, I don't really want anything to do with the Mirror Universe. But Ben gets called away to handle some Bajoran minister who wants to meet the emissary. And while he's gone, Jake immediately starts in on an unhealthy fixation with his doppelmom.
Yep.
He's like, "Oh, your hands, they're just like her hands."
Yeah, what did you think? Like, she's going to have different hands, but the same everything else?
It's like, that's the key difference in the mirror universe. Everybody has different hands.
You could be left-handed instead of right-handed, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the mirror.
Right. I was thinking they should just shoot everything in reverse in the mirror universe.
Ooh.
But I guess they would have had to do that all the way back in the original mirror episode.
Yeah.
So. But the captain's meeting sucks. No land reform for that minister guy.
Nope.
It's like, quit trying to reform the land. Just stop it. But after a few hours, he's finally able to rush home. But when he gets there, Jake and Jennifer are gone. And there's a little doodad left there. Cisco identifies it as the thing Smiley used to kidnap him into the mirror universe.
Which I love in the following scene, like, O'Brien's like, "Are you sure this is what they used?" As if he's just like, "Man, I don't understand what this is at all." And then they're just like, "Okay, I guess we're going to use it and go ahead." You should figure out. You should, like, take the time and figure out exactly how this thing works so that you can either prevent it from being used again, or at least, like, if you ever need to go to the mirror universe, you can figure it out.
Yeah, true. And yeah, Cisco took it with him. Maybe there's only one of them, and he was worried that if he left it there, he wouldn't be able to get back or something. But
yeah, I mean, I guess he was in a hurry to get over to see Jake, but I'm just like, take a little bit of time to make sure that, to study.
But Cisco's like, "Okay, I guess I gotta go to the mirror universe and get Jake back." And for safety, he brings Kira and O'Brien too, who they were in crossover. They know the mirror universe, so...
Yep, makes sense. Well, and also they've both got people there that they could pretend to be in the worst case scenario. He doesn't anymore because his guy's dead, but...
It's like, if we get trapped there, we can just kill our doppelgangers and take their lives.
And it's also funny, he's got, like, one guy from each of the two factions, so no matter which side they need to, like, get in good with, they've got somebody.
But it's all pointless because they hop on the transporter pad. Kira grabs a couple of phasers from Weapon Locker 47, which is now an ops, I guess, and they beam out. But O'Brien and Kira just beam right back. And all the guns too, I guess. Cisco shows up on Terok Nor ops, where he's welcomed by Smiley, who informs him they're holding Jake hostage so that the captain will help them.
Yeah, so did they move Terok Nor also, or does this transporter take you really far?
That's a good question. Do you have to be in the same, like, corresponding place to transport to the mirror universe?
Well, because last time, when Smiley goes and picks up Cisco, they teleport to the mirror universe, and they're on a ship, because the ship was where Deep Space Nine is, because there's not a station there. But this time it's just like, we're just straight there.
Did they say for sure that's what was going on? Because he wouldn't want to beam onto Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. But I feel like you got to be...
You got to be, like, in a transporter range, but...
It's just like, if it could be anywhere in the universe and it's not relevant, then, like, that's the whole other bag of whatever.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, why don't you beam to the mirror universe and then beam back to, like, another galaxy or something?
Yeah, like, get Voyager back that way, or their crew or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, probably there's some kind of rules. I don't know. I was trying to look to see if it was still orbiting Bajor, but I didn't see any planet shots in there, so...
Yeah, I didn't even remember to look for it. It just bothered me for 5 seconds, and then I moved on.
Because I was like, did they discover the wormhole and then move the station over there, or what's going on?
Like, yeah, I actually did wonder, like, so do they want it? I mean, they know about the wormhole. That could be a big advantage, maybe, over the Alliance. But also, maybe you just don't want to go and antagonize the Dominion for no reason.
Yeah, team up with the Mirror Dominion. I mean, if Mirror Universe logic serves, they're good, right? So go team up with those nice gym. Like the Mirror Dominion is this universe's equivalent of the Federation. Like it's all like goody and egalitarian and stuff.
The Jem'Hadar are super friendly,
right? It's like the Jem'Hadar are like the the customer service representatives of the Dominion or something. Anyway, last time O'Brien was on Deep Space Nine, he explains he stole the plans for the Defiant. And now the rebels have a Defiant of their own. But they're having an issue with the engines or something, and they need Sisko to fix it. Sisko says the fix will take 2 weeks, but Smiley says they have 4 days before the Alliance comes back to retake the station and kill everybody. And they can't just run away. They have to hold the station for some reason. Mirror Bashir walks in and punches Sisko as revenge for the time Sisko hit him in the episode Through the Looking Glass. He's like, now that I know that you're a mirror, Sisko, I'm going to punch you. Down in Nogs, Mirror Nog is explaining to Jake the pros and cons of tall men versus tall women. So, let me summarize this. Tall men bad, tall women good. Sisko comes in to check on him, and Jake gushes about how great Mirror Mom is, which creeps Ben out, understandably. Then Ben pulls Jennifer aside for a quick WTF chat.
Yeah, that's an important chat to have at this point.
Jennifer admits the whole thing was her idea. Sisko is not pleased and tells her to stay away from Jake. But Jennifer says she can't because Jake won't leave her alone. And then she just goes over to where Jake is.
Well, and yeah, Jake is like, hey, Mom, come look at this. Hey. Yeah.
Yeah. You need to, don't encourage that. Meanwhile, on a giant Klingon cruiser flying at warp, Garrick is dragged by a collar and chain to the bridge to see the Regent. Oh, gee, I wonder who the Regent is. It's Worf! The Regent is not pleased with Garrick for losing Terok Nor and then running away. Then Garrick turns his sucking up to 11, but the Regent tells him the collar stays on until every rebel on Terok Nor lays dead at his feet.
You know, I feel like that's not entirely unreasonable.
Sure.
That, he's like, Garrick, you ran away instead of keeping the station. So, I'm not gonna kill you, but you're in trouble until we fix that.
Right. You gotta wear that uncomfortable collar, and I'll just yank on it every once in a while.
We talked about in the last Mirror episode that the original plan in Crossover was that Worf was going to show up, but he couldn't do it because he was filming the final season of The Next Generation. So all his dialogue from that episode was given to Garrick, and now he gets his revenge on Garrick for stealing his lines.
Oh, he was going to be the sniffling Garrick part?
Well, so in that second one, Garrick is a little more confrontational with the
Oh, yeah. Wait, was it Crossover, or...
hold on. I thought it was the second one. I thought it was the previous one that we talked about, but that's a good point that just did say Crossover in this note. Hold on. I'm going to go back to the previous Mirror Universe episode and see if that note is in there.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. In Crossover, he was constantly trying to, betray the intended.
Yeah.
And then in the next one, he was just... he was not being violent enough for her, or something. And, not holding down the ore processing or something.
No, yeah, I guess it was Crossover. Well, there you go, then.
So so he was just going to be constantly trying to betray and backstab Kira.
Yeah, makes sense. But I think they gave Worf a better role in this one. He's got...
oh, yeah.
He's the boss. It's unclear exactly, where Regent ranks in the overall hierarchy of the Alliance, but... seems pretty high.
It seems to be higher than Intendant, so...
For sure, yeah.
On the Mirror Defiant, Dax walks in and gives Sisko a gentle slap for sleeping with her under false pretenses, so I'd say he got off easy for that.
Yeah, agreed.
She's like, that wasn't good of you. I'm gonna stab you if you do that again. Then Sisko hears screaming outside and heads to the corridor, where he finds Mirror Bashir torturing Intendant Kira with a remote control. So Sisko puts a stop to that. Kira is happy to see Sisko, leaving it ambiguous if they banged or not. Then she asks him to help her escape, and he says no. Back on the Regent's ship, the Regent has gotten word of the Defiant, which will be operational in 2 days. Let's go faster then, says Garrick.
Yeah, there you go. Problem solved.
Yeah. The Regent yanks on Garrick's chain, literally, not figuratively. And Garrick longs for the slightly less terrible tyranny of the Intendant, who I guess he also got to bang once in a while.
Yeah, it's a great bit where he's just like, I could please her every once in a while, and we're just like, yeah, not my thing.
Right. Then Cisco finds Jake in Jennifer's quarters, creepily having dinner with her. Cisco is tired from Defiant work, and Jennifer gives him a shoulder rub. She admits that she relates to Jake because her husband is dead, and she'll never get a Jake of her own. I guess once and all confirming that Jake Sisko does not exist in this universe.
Yep, now we know.
Unless she's lying.
She had a secret baby that she, gave away, and he'll show up as, the new emperor.
Well, it didn't have to be secret. Mirror Cisco could have known about it, and she's
That's
just kind of not telling this Cisco about it. She's trying to play on his emotions or something. Then Smiley comes in and announces that the Alliance fleet is 8 hours away. So I guess 40 hours elapsed between those two scenes.
They really got they've got some good intelligence out there watching where the Alliance fleet is.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they got spies all over the place. On both sides. Because they know where the Alliance fleet is, and the Alliance fleet knows all about the Defiant and when it's going to be operational. So
yep, it's a shady universe,
Right?
Everyone's backstabbing everyone else. Although I do like the quote from James L. Conway about the mirror universe in here is, "It's dark and sexy, and there's no subtlety over there."
There's definitely no subtlety. That is for sure. Then they go back to the Defiant, where Mira Bashir whines about torpedoes or something. But then Bashir has an idea to take their last raider out and to delay the fleet a little bit. Dax is in. So they go to see if the Intendant has any pointers. At first, she's not cooperative until Cisco points out the Regent is probably not happy with Kira for losing Terak Nor.
Yep.
Kira tries to blame Garrick and his excessive violence, which she doesn't condone. Which just cut to Kira in the ore processor just pointing to random people to have them executed. But she sees Cisco's point. After tons of innuendo, I mean, did they bang though? She reveals that Alliance targeting sensors tend to fall for warp shadows.
I'm pretty sure they did do it in the previous episode.
I mean,
we cut to the room and he's laying there eating grapes and she's in the bath and stuff. I think so.
I think based on Cisco's apparent lack of scruples in this department, I think it's pretty fair he did.
Cisco apparently is just fine with sleeping with everybody under any pretense whatsoever.
Yeah. He's you want to bang Mira Bashir? No? Okay.
It's like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in the mirror universe stays there.
Meanwhile, the Regent is busy throwing Garrick around, accusing him of stealing the key to his collar. Garrick denies it, and the Regent stabs him, but it doesn't seem to hurt him that bad. Then the guard who lost the key finds it in his boot, much to the Regent's annoyance.
That was a really funny delivery. It was it slipped into my boot.
Now, I don't know about you, but if something falls into my boot or shoe, I know about that pretty much immediately.
Yep.
Maybe he's got really thick socks or something.
So apparently for this episode, the note says, for this episode's first terrestrial release in the UK, the scene in which Garrick is stabbed by Worf was slightly edited. It doesn't say how, just a little bit edited.
They edited out the bone snapping sound.
Yeah, exactly.
In the last episode or whatever.
In the UK, you just can't be too bad. Oh, speaking of the last episode, I totally forgot when we got there. So at the beginning of the episode, when they're about to get on the transporter, and Kira goes and pulls out some phasers, the weapons locker prop is reused from the previous episode. You can see the number 47 on it. Yeah,
I totally said that at that point, but
oh, did you? I'm sorry.
Yeah. You can go back to listen at times.
That's probably why at the time I did not read that note, and then I completely forgot since then.
Well, I just said Weapons Locker 47 is in ops now, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Then Bashir and Dax show up in their raider and put the warp shadow trick to the test, and it seems to work. So they're just trying to shoot at it, and just like those torpedoes are flying all over the place, but actually at the ship.
Yeah, it was a very weird moment where it's like all the torpedoes go straight for them and then like go off in other directions. They're not chasing the shadows right away. They get almost there, and then they're like, oh, hey, wait, that other thing looks cool.
Yeah, I don't know how these targeting systems work. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
maybe you just kind of generally aim at what you want to shoot, then trust the targeting system to do the rest. And this time it was just like, no, I should be going over here.
Apparently it's widely known that the Alliance has bad targeting systems, and just nobody bothers to fix it.
Yeah.
Which, that sounds reminiscent of some issues that I've seen at work, so I get it.
Yeah. Yes. So Mirror Jennifer comes in to help Cisco fix the Defiant, and then creepily talks about her fondness for Jake. I don't know. I don't know how many times I use the word creepy in this summary, but
it's been quite a few.
She says she's decided to let Jake go home and to just trust Cisco to finish his job.
See, the first thing I thought when Cisco first takes the job is like, you should go and get like O'Brien, maybe a whole crew to come and help fix the thing. But I was like, I guess they don't trust him to go back.
Sure.
Even though they've got his son prisoner, they don't trust him to go back and not come back with like an army or something. And then at this point, they're like, okay, we do trust you. Also, we're super under the gun to get this done, but still, no one else is allowed to come and help.
Right. Yeah, you think our like real world O'Brien would be really helpful, but
yeah,
just bring his entire like maintenance crew and whip it right.
Muñez and whoever else, yeah.
Get Muñez in here. Let's see what Mirror Muñez is up to.
Maybe really O'Brien really is still recovering from that previous episode, so they're like, maybe like, he's been through enough.
There's a deleted scene where Smiley's like, oh, I know. How about we get that other O'Brien guy? That guy's great. And this feels like, we're kind of taking it easy on him right now. He went through a little thing. And also from his point of view, that like he was here like 20 years ago, so
that's true. It's been a while. He probably doesn't remember it as well.
But Jennifer asks if she's ruined the connection between her and Ben, and he gently reminds her that he was pretending that whole time he was here last time. They didn't really have a connection. Jake Sisko stands on the walkway, overlooking the Mirror Promenade, thinking. Then Mirror Nog comes over and tries to shoo him away. And then he says, you're a long way from home, human. So, not Terran. So, I guess just in this universe, they say human, not Terran. I don't know.
Wait a second. Has O'Brien been to the Mirror Universe?
Oh, no, it was Bashir, wasn't it?
It was Bashir the first time, because it was like he tried to make friends with O'Brien.
Okay.
And yeah, I was like, that just twinged all of a sudden, like, wait a second. Yeah.
In my mind, it was O'Brien, and that was what inspired the other O'Brien to, like, not suck. But it was just Bashir telling him about...
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, in my universe, we have an O'Brien that doesn't suck. And he's like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I'll do that.
Not sucking, you say. All right. I mean, I can give it a shot.
But yeah, anyway, so Jennifer comes to take Jake, presumably to take him home. In her cell, Kira is bored and tries to seduce her guard, who is not super tempted, as she ordered the death of his wife.
Yeah, apparently this is the third appearance by this guy. This is the third appearance by this guy as Terran Marauder.
Oh.
And I like to note. And in this episode, we learned that he is a widower.
we develop his character little by little.
Yeah.
But then Nog comes in and knocks the guard out with a salad tray by gently slapping him in the face with it. And then sets Kira free, shooting the lock with the guard's gun, which he then stupidly hands over to Kira.
Yeah.
She basically pulls a Django Unchained on him.
Nog's just not the smartest guy is the problem.
Yeah, apparently.
Mirror Nog, I guess.
Yeah, but he is grateful to Kira for killing his father and uncle, letting him inherit the bar.
It's the most thin
right
rationale for a betrayal, or what? I guess it's not even really a betrayal. It's not like he's loyal to the Terrans or anything, but it's just so thin where it's like, you've been in jail for a while. I figured today I would spring you because I appreciate what you did.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense. Then the Alliance shows up and starts attacking the station, initiating a battle filled with amazing special effects, which I will put in quotation marks. At some points. Smiley says to Cisco, "Okay, you can go now," but Cisco's like, "Dude, give me that chair," and he just gets in the captain's chair and starts commanding the Defiant.
Well, I do like O'Brien just like, or Smiley, he's just like, I mean, I wish I knew it better. Probably going to go out and get this nice ship destroyed. Oh, well.
On the station, Kira tells Nog where she's going, then shoots Nog, so he won't tell anyone where she's going.
Well, it's like, at first she's not going to, and then she considered, like, after he's like, don't worry, I won't tell anyone. She's like, I wish I hadn't said that. Now I'm thinking you might tell someone.
But remember, Kira doesn't like using violence.
I like to note that Nog is the third Ferengi to die in the Mirror Universe. Quark gets killed by Garrick, and then Rom gets killed by the Intendant. And now she's 2 for 3.
Yep, so.
Also fun note, it says Aaron Eisenberg, a trained martial artist, did all his own stunts for this episode.
Huh. What stunts did he have? He hit the guy with the tray, and then he fell down when he got shot. But all right, good for him. But yeah, Kira heads off, I guess, to track down Mirror Moogie and kill her too. But she runs into Jake and Jennifer. As the Defiant single-handedly fights off the entire attacking fleet, Cisco gives Smiley a little attack pattern delta lesson.
It is dumb that he's like, attack pattern delta, and I do like that this sort of thing is used so often on Star Trek where there's like attack pattern so-and-so, and I like the call-out where he's like, what the heck does that mean? Yeah.
But apparently, I guess attack pattern means rock slightly to the side, attack pattern delta. And then turn around and shoot people or something. But Kira, holding Jennifer and Jake at gunpoint, is pleased that she's able to take Jennifer back to the Alliance and deliver her to the Regent, and I guess get some brownie points and not get punished or whatever. Yeah,
they don't need that sensor array that she was going to build for them as much, since they now know that the Terrans are on Terok Nor, but whatever.
Right. Well, I assume it was to punish her, so the Regent can punish her for her betrayal or whatever, but
yeah.
Jennifer begs her to let Jake go, and Kira's like, okay, I'll let Jake go. To hell! And then shoots him. But Jennifer jumps in the way and takes the hit. Remember, Kira only uses violence when she needs to.
I think she needed to.
Then she finally thinks to ask who Jake is, and then when she finds out, she's like, okay, I'll let you live, but only as a setup for a sequel episode. Meanwhile, the Defiant is kicking ass and making trouble against the Regent ship using the trick of flying too close to shoot at.
Yep.
But then just as they're about to be finished off by a bird of prey, Bashir and Dax join the fight Han Solo style. So it's like, oh no, we're about to get shot. Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, not that the one little ship, the Raider, is probably that helpful, but...
I mean, apparently those two ships can fight off the gazillion Alliance ships, including the ginormous cruiser, so...
Yeah, I guess, ships are not as advanced in the Mirror Universe as they are in our universe, but they are still exactly the same in visual design.
Right. Except, I think maybe that cruiser is a little bigger or something.
Oh, you think so?
I don't know. What do the Vorcha class cruisers look like next to the Cardassian ones?
Oh, but the Worf's big one is a Negvar.
Oh, it's a Negvar. Okay.
Yeah, that's...
Those are super big?
Yeah, it was... I think the first time we saw one was also in an alternate universe in the finale of The Next Generation. That's the Klingon ship that shows up. But we've seen, I think, when Gowron and Martok attack Deep Space Nine, that was also their flagship.
They showed up in that one, too. But there were no Cardassian ships around for scale. So.
No, that's true.
Anyway, so soon sparks are flying and girders are falling all over the place on the Klingon cruiser.
Those girders, they're never in there good enough.
So that aspect of ship design is the same
Yeah.
in the Mirror Universe. Is these super weak, apparently useless, but only hazardous girders. Garrick is like, okay, can we leave now? And the Regent is like, that's a coward's move. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, let's do that thing.
Yeah. They warp away, and the Regent decides he must have been betrayed by the Intendant, which he was. So
It's true.
good guess.
Yeah. I just like, he's like, no other explanation except that I was betrayed. That's the only thing that could have happened.
Right.
To force me to
I mean,
lose.
he's correct. Can you argue with him?
Yeah. I mean, he's not the one who points it out. Garrick's like, oh yeah, you mean the Intendant betrayed you, right? Obviously, that's who it must have been.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, that. And then it turns out that's right. So
Yep. But Garrick is like, okay, if we meet her in the next episode, can I kill her? And the Regent is like, hell yeah. But Garrick's chain stays on.
yeah, I mean, they haven't wiped out all the Terrans on Deep Space Nine yet.
The bodies of all the rebels are not piled up around Worf's feet or whatever. So
Yeah.
You keep that chain. Back on Terra Nor, Jennifer is slowly dying from her phaser shot, which apparently there's just no way to cure or treat.
No cure for it.
But kills you super slow.
Like, Kira knows instantly. She looks at her and she's like, oh no, yeah, she's done for.
Oh yeah.
And then she lives for a while longer, enough to die in the sickbay or whatever.
She's like, our universe's medical technology cannot treat that. Like,
Maybe there's just no doctors on the station. Maybe that's what it is.
but just the field of medicine just does not exist in this.
Mira
universe.
Bashir is definitely not a doctor, so.
Right. And then, so Jennifer holds out her hand to Ben and says, we're still connected. And then Ben lies, yes, we are. And then she dies. And then Ben and Jake are shaken, I guess, at having to watch another Jennifer die. And they hug, and Sisko says, let's go home. The end.
So, I was looking up what the Regent exactly is, if there's any information. And apparently there's several Mirror Universe short stories where you find out the Regent is basically like the Klingon Chancellor over the Alliance. So
Okay.
he's like the big boss.
He's over the entire Alliance, not just the Klingon part of it?
Well, that's not completely clear here. It says it's in essence the Klingon Chancellor. And so, yeah, he may be like an equal partner with whoever's in charge of the Cardassians or something. I don't know.
So he just flies around on a giant ship, like personally engaging in these battles. I guess that's a Klingon thing to do.
That is pretty Klingon, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, before this happened, there was a book where like Mirror Worf appears, but it was written before we established that the Alliance had conquered the Empire or whatever. So in that book, the Terran Empire is still in charge, and the Klingons are like slaves, and Worf is a slave aboard the Mirror Enterprise D.
So wait, who? So the Terrans conquered the
Klingons?
So
yeah. The Terran Empire from the original series is still large and in charge, and they've conquered the Klingons and turned them into a slave race.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So maybe when did the Alliance happen? I don't know. Maybe it could still work. I don't know.
I really doubt this guy was a slave and has turned into the, but I guess, could be. It could happen. Who knows?
We could retcon it if we really, really needed to.
I feel like they said that it's like Spock took over and then he got like...
Right.
But of course, Spock lives a long time, so who knows what that could have been.
Yeah. He made the Empire too nice, and then...
The Klingons and the Cardassians teamed up and took him out.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so lots of interesting little bits about this episode. There's this one section that's like, each of the actors who portrayed their mirror counterparts has their own distinct interpretation. And then it has, like, quotes from several of them about, like, what they were doing with their character. So, Nanana Visitor says, the Intendant and Kira are exactly the same person, but the Intendant's ego has been warped, so that everything that Kira would do for her people, the Intendant does for herself. She's self-serving with a capital S. So
interesting interpretation. I mean, it kind of depends on how you define the exact same person,
right? Yeah,
but
it's like Kira also wants to have that much sex. It's just that she's busy doing stuff for her people.
Yep.
Alexander Siddig says of his counterpart, I want him to be the inverse of Dr. Bashir, like a doppelganger, the animus to his anima. Bashir wouldn't hurt a fly, but this guy is unstable, difficult, and stupid.
Okay.
Which, yeah, that kind of...
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a dick. I mean...
Yeah, he gets that punch on Cisco, which Cisco, once again, kind of deserved. But, honestly, if I'd been Cisco and he's like, I didn't know who you were, now I'm going to punch you because I know who you are, I would have been like, punched him again. It's like, okay, now you got punched by the real me. What are you going to do?
Yeah. It's like, but go ahead. See what happens now.
Cisco was okay with it being like, okay, we're even now. It's done.
I boxed with a literal god one time. You want to...
It's true.
You want to go?
Yeah. What's Q doing in the Mirror Universe is the real question. Like
Mirror Q.
Yeah. Let's see. Colomini says of Smiley, I picture him as being a bit dirty and scuzzier than regular O'Brien, just because of what he's had to go through. He's a trickster, and there's something sort of seedy about him. Miles, on the other hand, is straight as an arrow.
Yeah, I mean, he's totally scuzzy. I mean, he's just... This is like the second time he's kidnapped someone out of our universe. He's just like... Whenever he has a problem, he's like, who can we kidnap out of the other universe?
Yeah. And apparently they stole those plans for the Defiant, which are just readily accessible in the computer system to anyone who comes along. That's
what I was trying to think. I was like, man, he's got some good hacking skills if he was able to get those plans, or else just... Yeah, they were just right there on, like, Deep Space Ninepedia or something.
And honestly, they've got some good fabrication skills if they can reconstruct the Defiant in that universe, not having the like technological advancements that we do, like quantum torpedoes and stuff.
Right.
So maybe they downloaded the whole Wikipedia about like, here's how quantum torpedoes work, so you can build them from the ground up or whatever.
I guess like Professor Cisco is there to.
Oh, that's true.
Kind of make sense of all this stuff and help them out.
I just imagine that like everything is on a different level, so it's like they have to recreate whole like metallurgy techniques that they haven't discovered yet,
right?
And like new power transfer procedures and like new warp technology. Like, oh, we got to start from scratch on all of it.
Yeah, it's not super realistic, but whatever.
There's a book. I think it's one of the William Shatner Star Trek books where they're the Mirror Universe people get involved, and it's like Mirror Picard is working for, I think he's working for Mirror Kirk. Like Mirror Kirk has secretly been alive this whole time, and and is like refounding his empire or something. And so they've stolen the plans for the Enterprise E, and they've rebuilt most of it, but it's like the computer cores are just too advanced, and they can't like replicate those. So they have to run this whole scam where they like steal the regular Enterprise E and set up this big thing where it looks like they're going to transport it to the Mirror Universe. And everyone keeps being like, you can't transport something that big. There's no way. And then it turns out the whole big thing is just to transport those two pieces into the mirror copy of the Enterprise. So,
I mean, well, they should just fly through the wormhole. And
do whatever that thing is. That
I forgot what happened. Like, turn the microwave on and then fly into one of those node things or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever it was.
But I mean, Kira and Bashir were able to like reverse it pretty easily. So
that's true.
Oh, they had like a leaky.
Yeah,
they had a leaky reactor
or
something.
Yeah. Hopefully, they eliminated all record of what exactly happened so that no one else could recreate that.
Right, so that Smiley can't come over and steal that.
Yeah, or just random people going to the Mirror Universe. You really don't want that, I think, in general.
Right, yeah. Like, Grand Nagus Zek trying to open up relations with the trade relations with the Mirror Universe or something.
Can you imagine some crazy stuff like that? Like, it's ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, just stuff could go all kinds of ways.
Okay, so the last one of these is Aaron Eisenberg says of Nog, he was obnoxious and rude, so I played him like an edgy quark.
Okay.
I don't know how those two things match exactly, but yeah.
Not an edgy Nog, an edgy quark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the first 3 Mirror Universe episodes, I guess implying there may be more, who knows, Nana Visitor favored Shattered Mirror. Visitor commented, it was the darkest. I think I found a darker place for her because of the way they wrote it, and I liked it.
Was it the darkest, though?
I mean, as you pointed out, she does go about, like, murdering people for no reason, essentially.
Yeah. I feel like those first two, when she was actually, like, in charge, were pretty dark.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Her character is always, it's just, she's so mercurial that it's hard to, like, nail down. It's like, 1 minute she's sleeping with you, and the next she's, like, randomly shooting people for the hell of it.
Uh-huh. But no, she only uses violence surgically.
Well, it's like she believes that, which is actually kind of funny because, like, Ducat is the same way, where he talks about, like, what a great guy he was as the guy in charge of Bajor or whatever, and how he was really just looking out for the Bajorans. Like, he believes that crap, and so does, like, the Intendant. It's bizarre, the like dichotomy of those two.
Yeah.
They should meet up. And
I was just thinking that. I was like, that would be cool.
Ducat would be so into that.
I was just thinking of all the ramifications of that. It's like horny Ducat for Kira and horny Kira for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, doot. Maybe we don't need that after all.
I want to see these two hanging out, being buddies. Just, randomly throwing off their clothes at whatever moment when they feel like it. I know. I don't really want to see that. It's fine.
Yeah. It's like, well, we just killed 5 people. Want to do it?
You know it. The last note I have is Renee Echevarria comments, "We got a great reaction to Worf's character. So he might be the focus of the next crossover episode. Just a show filled references." I don't know what that means.
A show filled with references?
It doesn't say with. It says just a show filled references. I assume with is what should be there.
Just a show filled. Yeah. I assume he said this before any subsequent.
Yes. Yeah. This must have been like right after.
Yeah.
The Jake angle was a great one, realizing that there would be a mirror Jennifer and that he would be drawn there. And then Hans Beimler adds, Ira's directive was that the show must be fun, fun, fun. Those are the 3 things he wants. And I think it really does deliver on that. I'm very proud of it.
So we need the super creepy Jake emotional attachment to his mirror mom, but also we need to have fun.
Yep. I mean, right. if you don't think those Worf and Garrick scenes are fun, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, that's for sure. I think Ira Stephen Bear must have written those ones. So, by the way, whatever happened to Cassidy? Doesn't she live on the station now?
Yes, and in fact, she's going to be in, or at least referenced in the very next episode because I started watching it for our next record. So,
nice.
She's there. She's around.
It was just a little weird that like Jake seems to have completely forgotten about her and just thinks like Ben and Jennifer are going to get back together.
Well, his dead mom reappears. Like that's a bit of a shake-up to the norm. So
yeah, true. Yeah, it's probably has a psychological effect.
Yeah, I would think.
He might need to go see Counselor Telnori.
Oh no!
After this whole episode.
Yeah,
that poor Counselor Telnori. He's like, oh my god, what kind of crap is going on this station?
I want to see if Counselor Telnori is ever mentioned again. Hold on. And I'm just not remembering it. Counselor Telnori. Here we go.
I think we said last time that he's not.
But... No, yeah, he definitely is never mentioned. Oh, but hold on, there's a Memory Beta article. Does he come up in some books? Do we have the Counselor Telnori story?
Star Trek Telnori.
Okay, no, the only additional mention in a book is O'Brien would later admit to Sonia Gomez that Telnori had helped him understand how depression works.
Huh.
So, there you go.
So, that's good.
Yeah.
Good, I just like to imagine that, like, Telnori, quit after having to see O'Brien. He was like, oh my gosh.
He realized that what he was really interested in was bathroom design and moved into that.
He's like, oh, once my side hustle takes off, I am so out of here. What? This kid saw his mom die twice?
These the Counselor Telnori references are just, I like, we're just like, he's probably not he's probably a terrible counselor. Who knows? But it just reminds me of the counselor on Lower Decks is a recurring character and he's a bird man of some kind. I don't know exactly what species, but it's just the repeating joke that he's really not a great counselor, and he's always using food metaphors. And it's just like every time that he appears, he's like got these food metaphors that make no sense.
I mean, I think maybe the counselor program might be Star Trek's weak link. I don't want to like crap on Deanna too much, but I mean, she's not necessarily always the best counselor.
No, well, it's any and all medical sort of services. As we pointed out on this show several times, it's like the ethics seem to be drastically different. And that goes to psychology as well, where like all of the counseling, like it's they're just going around there telling everybody about your stuff. They're doing some shady stuff, giving some crazy advice.
Yeah. Apparently just anybody can drag you into the doctor and have any procedure performed on you.
Yeah.
While you're like
unconscious
in a drunk stupor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think maybe didn't Crusher become head of Starfleet Medical in Picard?
She did, and yeah,
or again,
exactly.
She needs to, if she even cares to, needs to kind of give this whole program a refresh. So, what do you think of the title?
I mean, okay, it's a Mirror Universe episode for sure. The mirror is right there in the title.
The word mirror is there.
So yeah, that's. I don't know why this one is shattered more than any other one.
That was pretty much my exact thought.
Yeah, so it's vaguely recognizable. I don't know that I could connect it with this specific Mirror Universe one, but I mean, as far as appropriate goes, I mean, yeah, I guess, kind of.
I mean, I'd even say things are looking kind of up in the Mirror Universe.
I guess it depends on who you are.
Yeah. Maybe we're meant to believe that the Alliance is the good guys of the Mirror Universe.
Yeah.
If they've lost Terok Nor, just everything is shattered now. It's like this situation can never be recovered. So yeah. So it's a Mirror Universe episode, but like the other Mirror Universe episodes, you kind of have to think for seconds, like, wait, which one is that?
Yeah, I mean, crossover, I guess you can tell just because it's the first one, and so you're like, oh, the crossover is significant. That's the thing, right?
Sure.
But what was the one after that? We just talked about
like
it.
through the looking glass.
Yeah, Through the Looking Glass is another one where it's like, I mean, I know it's a Mirror Universe episode. This one could easily be Through the Looking Glass. Honestly, I think Jake is a little more Alice than like Cisco in that episode. It might even fit better here. But yeah, it's just they're just sitting around like, what sort of mirror related pun can we come up with? And they just throw it on there. So it's okay. It's an okay title.
And then they pick the worst ones and then they use them. It's like, what about Mirror Dear? I don't know. So, okay. What about the episode?
The episode.
How do you feel about the episode Shattered Mirror? Or whatever it's called.
So, I've established in the last 2 times that we've had them, I'm not a big fan of Mirror Universe episodes in general. It's not a concept that I find all that interesting as a rule. So, just remind people of that up front. I'm not because there's a lot of people out there who are just like, oh, Mirror Universe, that's automatically an awesome. I'm the other way around. So, that being said, I think I probably like this the best of the 3 that we've had so far. I think that it is fun. Like, Ira Steven Bear has his whole thing where it's like, according to Hans Beimler, he's like, oh, this episode needs to be fun. I think we get there. It's the Intendant has some good stuff, but because of where she is, because she's a prisoner most of the time, she doesn't have the chance to be as like overwhelming and gross as she usually is.
Mm-hmm.
She still is a little bit, but it's like the episode is seasoned with it a little bit. It's not like overwhelmed with it. So, and I think that her lines are fun, even when they're pretty dark. Like, he's like, you killed my wife. She's like, I was hoping you were single. Like, come on, That's a fun, like, dark, like, black comedy sort of joke. And I love the scenes with Garrick and Worf, actually. I'm like, I want to see these guys together more. It doesn't even have to be, these characters. It could be just these actors as the regular characters. I think that there's a fun dynamic there that you could play with.
Yeah.
I mean, real Worf is a bit more reserved. In fact, one of the notes is that they intentionally made Mirror Worf kind of more like Gowron than like our Worf. But I like those scenes. I don't care about the Jake and his mom and Cisco story. I find the stealing the Defiant blueprints and then needing Cisco to actually make it work, that's kind of interesting to me, and I like what that does for the Mirror Universe storyline, because you needed some way to believe that the Terrans could mount a decent resistance. I don't know how they took Terok Nor, honestly, because
Right.
like they didn't have that kind of power last time we saw them. But you bring in, oh yeah, they've been stealing stuff from the other side and like co-opting it. Then and honestly, if they can do this thing where they just transport from wherever in their universe and get to, it doesn't even have to be wherever in our universe. They could go to like where a very secure Starfleet facility is, but on their side there's nothing, and then they beam over and steal some interesting stuff without anyone ever knowing. Like there's all sorts of possibilities there to give them an edge. So I kind of like, if I cared more about the Mirror Universe story, I would care more about that. But as a single element, it's okay. So I like this the best of those episodes, of the Mirror Universe episodes so far. I like some of the pieces. I think some are fun. Still, overall, I'm just like, Mirror Universe. I don't really care. And so for me, it's going to be like a lieutenant. I think I gave Through the Looking Glass Lieutenant Junior grade. I don't remember crossover. So.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like the Mirror Universe as a concept of this fun place we can visit, and I guess just give the writers permission to throw all logic out the window, and just have everybody act all crazy. But I was not a big fan of this one. I think what's supposed to be the core of the episode, which is the whole Ben, Jake, Jennifer thing, it just does not work. Like it's so creepy on between Jennifer and Jake when I think it's supposed to be sweet. I don't know. And then the Jennifer and Ben stuff where Ben, he's just like, he's over it. It's just, I don't know. But then they're kind of trying to play with that thing they kind of played with in Through the Looking Glass, where it was like, maybe he does have this connection or something. I don't know. So that stuff just annoys and disturbs me. I mean, I do like if the whole episode was just like Worf and Garrick, and just the whole time he's just like yanking on Garrick's chain constantly. I mean, that would be great. And then Kira has some great moments, although some of the stuff she does is just bananas, and the plot makes no sense. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it just for the fun Worf over the top acting, I'll give it a Lieutenant Junior grade. But I was not thrilled. I was not in love with this episode by a long shot. So
okay, it's fair. Yeah, I mean, the deeper you think about the intended story in this episode, the less sense it makes. We already pointed out the Nog thing, where it's like, okay, it's like they needed some sort of plot to happen for her to get out, and that was it.
It's like Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. And they needed an excuse to kill another Ferengi because they got the pattern going. I don't know what they're going to do next time.
Yeah, I'm telling you, here goes Moogie.
Oh, yep. Gotta keep it in the family.
Oh man, no. What I want is Mirror Moogie goes on. She Sarah Connors out.
Ooh.
And goes on a revenge quest for her two sons and her grandson. I am disappointed at the Star Trek writers for not doing that, and for the book writers for not doing a book of that.
I wonder what Mirror Ferenginar is like.
Yeah, is it like alliance-oriented, or... Yeah. I mean, the individual races seem to be sort of the same. Like, Klingons seem pretty much the same. Cardassians seem pretty much the same. Ferengi seem pretty much the same, so... it's probably the same, except, everybody wears, like, leather straps and, except the women don't wear any clothes. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, are the women clothed in the Mirror Universe, and the men aren't allowed to wear clothes?
It's like the women are clothed and the men are naked. Yeah. But the men are still in charge. So anyway, any final thoughts?
I went into the Mirror Universe article to see if there's any like, memory beta mentions of Ferengi or something like that. Just, curious if this has come up. And the Mirror Universe was due for a Ferengi show. What does come up in here, which I hadn't, because I don't watch Discovery, is like by the year 3189, the Prime and Mirror universes have drifted so far apart from each other, there have been no reported crossings in the preceding 500 years. So...
Oh, so they drifted apart in, like, distance from each other?
Maybe it's just like a metaphorical thing where it's like, as long as the same people were being born in both universes, they were close together, and then eventually, even though it's continued for way longer than it made any sense for it to continue, eventually it just couldn't do it anymore.
Right. I mean, no Jake, no Molly.
So anyway, random note about Discovery, although apparently there's like 3 Mirror Universe episodes of Discoveries, so something must happen with that.
Right. Didn't someone... I only saw like the first few episodes of Discovery. Wasn't the big twist that someone, like the captain or someone in season 1, turned out to be from the Mirror Universe or something?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about Discovery.
Okay. I think he was played by what's his face, Isaac something, or all right, so ready to tell us what happens next time?
Yeah, okay, so tune in for the next one, which is going to be... Okay, it's like if Juno, the movie, not the city in Alaska.
Sure. Yeah.
If that crossed over with Barton Fink.
Okay.
Yeah. So, get ready for that.
Wasn't Barton Fink... That was the one... Okay, wait. That was the one where John Turturro was a writer.
Yeah, he's got writer's block, and he's like writing a script, and then weird stuff happens.
I'm with you, I think. Okay. So Barton Fink goes to Juneau, Alaska. Got it. Was his name even Barton Fink in that movie?
Hold on. Let me confirm. Yes, John Turturro's character is called Barton Fink.
Okay.
Oh, man.
All right. So
didn't remember Tony Shalhoub in there. Love Tony Shalhoub.
Ooh. Little Tony Shalhoub, John Turturro team up.
And John Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love John Goodman.
Sure. That was the Coen Brothers, right?
Maybe. Hold on. Yes, Coen Brothers movie.
Okay. What's the one where Miller's Crossing? That's the one I was thinking of at first, but that's a different one. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we'll wrap up the episode there before we remember more movies and what actors were in them.
Yep, that's very
yeah. So if you made it this far, thanks for listening. Don't forget to check the description. Sometimes interesting stuff goes in there. But I'm Fletcher, and about to say goodbye is Data.
I can't do goodbye backwards. See ya.
I look Ivan Netniaj.
There you go.
Until we meet again, keep the blood wine warm and the prune juice chilled.